So welcome everybody this morning, and make sure. So welcome to Boulder Valley, CSO Boulder Valley Teaching Chapter, and I'm going to pray us in. My name is Barbara Fang Babcock, and I'm our practitioner for today. So let's all take a moment and take a deep breath in. Feel into that space, knowing that each of us is blessed by this time together. Feeling spirit move through us, feeling the beautiful sunshine outside that we've been missing, knowing that it's all the divine. Breathing into that, knowing that this sacred space that we come together on these Sunday mornings is so blessed by each face and each energy that shows up, knowing that we are all a part of this miraculous community that connects to one another. Feeling this, knowing this, blessing it. So grateful for each of you being here this morning, knowing that as we are filled and gaining wisdom and understanding from James's message, that each of us is opened in a different way and our hearts are touched. And we move from this space today with a fuller heart and a knowingness that we are connected. So blessed for each of us here. And so it is.
And so it is. Thank you, Barbara.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go ahead and move into the slide presentation of the talk. Let's see here. Share screen, share sound. Doing some computer stuff here. One moment. Okay. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start the slide presentation.
This is our place, come on in. Our place, so glad you're here. Our place, everybody's welcome. We see God on every face. Love lives here in this place. Welcome to our place, our sweet place.
Very good. Happy Father's Day. What an amazing opportunity to honor people who hold a father figure position, as well as if you've had kids yourself. I honor all people across the planet who hold that father figure role that is so important for our planet. So masculine energy can manifest inside of scout leaders or great neighbors or teachers or religious leaders, that masculine energy that is at the foundation of being a father figure. And I just honor each person here, whether you're male or female or whatever gender you are, or any of the spectrum in between male and female. If you've made a difference for someone, I honor you and I thank you. So when I was in Boy Scouts, we had this week-long camp out that was amazing. It was up in the mountains in New Mexico, and it was one of the highlights of the Boy Scout experience. And I was having challenges with another one of the kids. And one afternoon, Mr. Bolton, the Scoutmaster, walked up and he had this limp and he always had a walking stick. And he kind of gently walked up to me. And Mr. Bolton held this space of presence and gentle power. And I don't remember the details of the conversation, but he gently invited me to move into a different kind of relationship with this other kid in the Boy Scout troop. And I remember during the conversation that I was kind of amazed because he didn't yell at me. He didn't make me wrong. There was none of the force. There was gentle power. And I remember watching him walk away. He had that limp, and I was watching him limp away. And my jaw kind of dropped, and I realized that I had a whole new roadmap. I had a whole different way of being at my fingertips about how to have a relationship with this kid that I never would have known before. Mr. Bolton held a beautiful father figure for me and for hundreds of other scouts. So I honor you. If you've been a father figure, thank you. So I'm going to talk about the federal holiday called Juneteenth for a moment. It's actually tomorrow. It's a new federal holiday. And after the Emancipation Proclamation, in the middle of the 1800s sometime, people who were slaves in Texas weren't told about this amazing gift, like they were freed from slavery. They weren't told about it for 2 years. And this is one of the catalysts for the creation of the Juneteenth holiday. When you close your eyes and open your heart, everyone is the color of love. See, that's what Centers for Spiritual Living. It's one of the foundations of CSL, is that we honor all people. All people are welcome. And we work pretty hard on teaching people how to open their hearts, how to open their eyes and see with their eyes through truth, through presence. So there's an ongoing conversation in the United States for financial reparations for people who are African American. This is an acknowledgement of past mistakes, and it's important. Taking accountability for your mistakes and being able to talk about them without shame or guilt is power. And see, that's what's happening now. We're taking apart the colonialism, the toxic patriarchy that had slavery be rampant, and the after effect, the hangover from slavery is still very much present in today's society. And if we give reparations to people who are African American, that's going to go a long way towards honoring them and making them feel like equals. Reparations is a powerful access to making a difference for people of color. I'm going to move into the divine masculine portion of the talk. Divine masculine energy is a driving force behind life. It's the energy that protects and provides, and it's the energy that holds space and produces results. All people have divine feminine and divine masculine energy. And that interdependence between the divine feminine and divine masculine creates an avenue for the embodiment and balance in our lives. See, as we do the work, as we dive deep and we notice areas where there might be colonialism that we learned from our parents or our grandparents, as we take apart the colonialism, that inherited conversation or those inherited conversations about how we treat ourselves and treat other people, when we take apart those old blocks, those old inherited conversations, the balance between the divine masculine and divine feminine can arise. I'm gonna cough here one moment. So that interdependence between the divine feminine and the divine masculine creates an avenue for the embodiment. I already said all that. I'm repeating myself. Oops, moving on. Here we go. Next slide. So how do we access the balance between the divine feminine and the divine masculine? So one thing that we can do that is a powerful context builder is noticing the toxic patriarchy that's at the bedrock of our culture. And it's at the bedrock of almost every one of our lives. See, we're surrounded by these messages of toxic patriarchy from childhood and probably even in vitro. So we've been surrounded by these messages how it's okay for men to squish people with feminine energy. One example of this is in big cities, quite often men just walk down the sidewalk. And when they approach someone with feminine energy, they expect the other person, the person with feminine energy, to move out of their way. And there was this really cool study that took place, and a woman actually specifically did not move out of the way. And she got run into many, many times by men. And sometimes the men would get this surprised look on their face, like they didn't even know that they were literally expecting the other person to move out of their way. And when they ran into someone, they ran into the person with feminine energy, it kind of woke them up a little bit. And the lady who did this study, she actually had a couple opportunities to have conversations with the men that ran into her. And she started asking questions. She didn't make them wrong. You know, she didn't use force. She just started asking questions. It's like, wow, did you even notice that you were going to run into me? And quite often the answer was no, I didn't even know. So that entrenched pattern, those entrenched patterns that are at the base of our lives with both people who hold masculine and feminine energy are entrenched. And as we start digging into that almost like lockstep pattern of toxic patriarchy, we can start becoming more balanced. It's just super important. So unwrapping and being willing to be responsible for the group mind programming is an access point for inviting forward that balance. And Ralph Waldo Emerson talked about it this way: don't be too timid and squeamish about your actions. All life is an experiment. The more experiments you make, the better. See, that lady who, it took a lot of courage for her to do that study about not getting out of the way when men ran into her. She was bold and courageous. She did a powerful experiment. So Goethe talks about it this way: whatever you can do or dream you can, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. Acknowledging the parts of our lives that are on automatic pilot, inside of taking the context of taking toxic patriarchy apart, is a powerful way to heal and transform. As we shift those old patterns based in colonialism, white privilege, and misogyny, our quality of life greatly increases. And see, it's important for all people that hold feminine and masculine energy, to do this work. It's not just about making men wrong or making women wrong. It's really about everyone doing that internal work. You can't live the life you owe yourself without living it loudly, boldly, and without apology. So my invitation is that you do the work, that we all do the work. As we have ourselves mirrored back from someone else, maybe it's a dear friend or a family member, as we're having a conversation with maybe a prayer partner or someone's doing counseling work. That journey of diving into the toxic patriarchy and the misogyny and the white privilege and the colonialism, that is the access, or can be an access, to having balance flow through your life. Having the divine masculine be in balance with the divine feminine. Let's move into prayer. If you're comfortable, shut your eyes. Settle into the space where you're at. Take that breath, that in breath and that out breath. I am so grateful. I say thank you that we have this amazing opportunity to do the work. That's the invitation on the table, is to embrace those transformational environments, to say yes to growth and development, to invite forward those areas that are inside of us that might still need healing, to honor yourself. When you were young, you might have taken on those toxic patriarchy patterns, the colonialism, the misogyny. You might have taken those on. You might have had to have taken those on. It might have been your family of origin that taught you those things. And it might not have been safe to do anything else. I honor you. I honor you for embracing what you had to embrace, to learn what you had to learn. I honor the courage that you had. And I invite you, as the adult as possibility now, to examine those areas that might be sticky, those interior parts that might be calling out for transformation. The interior divine feminine and divine masculine that is calling out to be in balance. I invite you to honor all those parts of that are inside of you. Be gentle with all of those parts. Love yourself. Honor yourself. I give great thanks that we have these contexts where we can examine the interior conversations and ways of being and patterns, and we can transform them. I give great thanks that we have this access. And I give great thanks for each person here, each person watching this recording. I say thank you for your willingness to be brave and courageous. Behind all this prayer is that one mind that holds the divine love and the divine law both. I give great thanks that we have access to love and law both. Divine feminine, divine masculine, both. I release this prayer into that beautiful chemical amalgamation of love and law. And I invite us to say together, and so it is. Take a breath, big in, big out. bring your attention back to this now moment. So this is the time in our service to provide financial support for CSL Boulder Valley, and also to provide the beautiful difference you've made, to provide making a difference as well. See, our actions, our volunteer work, our willingness to have conversations that support CSL Boulder Valley are just as important as the monetary support we give. So thank you for all of the things that you do to have CSL Boulder Valley grow. Let's say the offering affirmation together. This perfect gift is spirit in form, circulating and blessing all it touches. Freely I give and joyously I receive. And so it is. Welcome back to the community connections portion. I invite you to go ahead and unmute if you're comfortable doing that. I really like